So it becomes more and more clear that the way Jews and non-Jews have experienced Judaism and its mission and the rabbis is very different than how it should actually be. What I mean by that is that Judaism is supposed to be a resource for the world. And technically, we should have Jewish centers or even synagogue all over the world for everyone. Until now, the way things have become is that there has been a huge separation between Jews and non-Jews due to the Jewish misbehavior throughout time in their relationship with God. And because the Jews had a lot of ups and downs in their relation with God, not all bad, there was also a lot of good, but God created a situation where we got into exile and there was anti-Semitism and all types of problems. This has created social distancing of Jews and non-Jews, and which was never meant to be. Jews and non-Jews are supposed to work together. The Jews are the light into the nations, not because they're better, because that's their mission, because that's their responsibility. Unfortunately, also, a lot of Jews, because they have been taught in a way that is because of exile also and persecution, all that, but also because they have been taught that they're the chosen nation, not properly explained, could have a tendency to look at themselves as better and look down at other nation, which is completely wrong. How can you look at someone down if you're supposed to light them up and elevate them? Which father would look down on his child? Nobody is supposed to feel higher or lower than others, but each one has to feel he's responsible for the other. Judaism, yes, focuses more on Jews because we have to make ourselves better and work with ourselves first. Just like anybody in his family, he's first going to help his own family, his closest friend, and then after he's going to help others. But this has created an insulation of Judaism, and because of that, now we end up with a Judaism that seems to have nothing to do with the rest of the world. So we know that there's a Gemara that says the reason why Jews went all over the world was to bring converts, but it also means that we're here to bring light and holiness and Torah and the Bible and teachings, role modeling all over the world. So we see today an unprecedented awakening from the non-Jewish world, religious or non-religious, trying to find spirituality more than ever before. There's a thirst, and many souls are awakening and recognizing the validity and the truth about the Torah and Judaism and its place in the world and the Jews and Israel. And it's time to shift our mind, Jews and non-Jews. Jews have to start opening up and looking up at the non-Jewish nations and guide and inspire and elevate the world with its teachings. And we know we have the 7 Noahide laws, but there's within those Noahide laws a lot of teachings that the Jews need to teach to the non-Jews. There's a great book that I really recommend for all non-Jews who wants to know more about their responsibility as non-Jews according to the Torah. It's called the Divine Code, okay, by Moshe Weiner. There are other books, but this one is really, really complete. Like, I mean, it has a lot of personal great teachers, but also very detailed sources and explanation about how to be a righteous non-Jew according to the Torah, how to get close to God according to Torah as a non-Jew, prayers, and all the laws that you need to know. Almost all the laws that you know. When you read that book, you realize that, and all that comes from the Torah, obviously, but we realize that there's so many things that Jews themselves don't know they're supposed to teach non-Jews, because as the Rambam says, is Hashem compelled Moshe to teach to the non-Jews what the Torah is. There's a reason why the Torah, it says, was translated into 70 languages, was taught to Yeshua, that it should be taught in 70 languages on 12 stones, that everybody should be able to learn from it. And we need to, again, change our perspective and be more proactive about it. So for Jews, like I said, they have to learn what a non-Jew is supposed to do and teach them. Teach them about who God is and how do we have a relationship with God, because all part of the 7 Noachide laws. There's many things that non-Jews are allowed to do that actually that non-Jews are allowed to do that Jews don't know they're allowed to. Just like they're having a circumcision, keeping kosher to a certain extent, and doing a lot of commandments. The Rambam is very clear, non-Jews who want to come close to Hashem are allowed to do some of the commandments, not as commandments, even they are not part of the 7 mitzvot, 7 commandments that they're given to Noach or Adam, but they can do others if they want to come close to God, and they do it in a way to make themselves better human beings and come closer to God. So, first of all, non-Jews should know that not every Jew is knowledgeable in the Torah and all the commandments and what non-Jew is supposed to do. But non-Jews need to look for a mentor, a Jewish mentor, a reliable mentor, a holy mentor, a rabbi, teacher that can teach them about how to get closer to God and how to work on themselves in a spiritual way according to the Torah. And by doing this, by being aware, by connecting, by searching for that relationship, and implementing it, that we are literally bringing the world to completion. We are making the world unified, a better place. There's a lot of misconception, and I cannot emphasize that enough. Yes, it speaks in many places in the oral tradition of derogatory, or sometimes it seems even nasty things about non-Jews. But when it speaks about non-Jews, there's 2 types of non-Jews that is discussed there. There's the idol worshipper, and 99% of the derogatory things are about idol worshipper. It has nothing to do with a righteous non-Jew, because the righteous non-Jew has the world to come, meaning reward in the world to come, just like Jews, and in so many places, if you really look inside, it says just the opposite, that you have to love a non-Jew, and you have to respect them, and you have to teach them and inspire them. And also, we are at the time where everything has to change. There's a shift. People are awakening intellectually, spiritually, and we need to work together to create that new world. everything that's happening in the world, Corona and all the other crazy things, weather, and all this is in some way and form messages to teach us to be more united and to connect more and to awaken our spirituality, and realizing that there's a lot of messed up things in the world that needs to be readjusted. The world reacts to what we do, and we need to make the changes necessary. And the changes necessary is to get closer to God, to become more spiritual, and have Jews and non-Jews start their relationship the way it's supposed to be. We had that very similar situation already in the time of King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech, who really created a unity between almost all the nations. However, it didn't reach perfection, and the time was not ready for the world to experience Moshiach, the final redemption, and God. But we can play our role. We can play our part, and learning to communicate, correspond with each other, have a relationship. And God willing, if we do that properly, we'll be able to have an evolution, to evolve to the next stage of history, get closer to God. So that's my speech. I encourage every Jew who listens to that video to learn how to interact with non-Jews, what they're supposed to teach the non-Jews. They should read that book, and they should get guidance from a rabbi. But I shouldn't say most rabbi, but there's very few rabbis who are gonna even perhaps agree with me, or at least get into the actual action of creating that bond between Jews and non-Jews, because many believe we have to wait till Moshiach comes, it's only the end of time, but it doesn't say that anywhere. I think we are trying to escape something that is inevitable, and we're being passive. So we need to. I disagree, obviously, with those rabbis, and I think that it's time for people to look for the rabbis who are into it. There's a few rabbis that I know personally who agree with that concept, and who already actively connects Jews and non-Jews and teach and inspire. So I encourage Jews to learn about it and to teach it, and to with humility, tremendous humility and love. If there's no humility, respect, and love, there's nothing. So that has to be what's in our heart. That has to be the foundation, and the desire for true unity and growth towards God. And with many prayers that God should help us being able to do that. It is my dream that we really should be in Israel. Hopefully I'll be there soon, but as universal center of Judaism for the world. Obviously universal. So that's a big project that I hope will come to fruition. If someone is very rich and wants to make it happen, please let me know. We can maybe work together. But yes, we need to start something universal. And but for the non-Jews, I encourage each one of you to learn the Bible, especially the commandments. I mean, read the Torah, read the Bible to understand what's there, especially the first book of the Bible, and especially the first two chapters of the Bible in Genesis, because Bereshit and Noach, that applies to the whole world. There were no Jews at that time in the story of the Bible. So Bereshit and Noach, two first Torah portion are meant to be studied by every non-Jew, and I encourage every non-Jew who wants to get close to God, who wants to understand more, to find a rabbi, me or in Israel, there's Rabbi Ravdinovich in French or Hebrew. There's there's the rabbis connected to the Noachides, the Noach International things. There's a few things for Noachides everywhere. So I encourage you to look for those rabbis and learn from them and try to create a relationship. Again, how do you choose a rabbi? It has to be someone who respects you and who works on his character trait, who has good character traits. This is the foundation. A rabbi without good character traits is garbage. Or at least has to be someone who is constantly working on it. And then get guidance from them, because there's not one thing in life, there's one not aspect of life that is not discussed in the Torah. Because the Torah is eternal, the Torah is from God. It's a divine code, like say there, that teaches how to behave and create total harmony in life for everyone, to be in harmony with the world, with ourselves, with people, with nature, with animals. So we all need to, and it's all there. We have all the information. It's all about working together now. So that's my message. I hope you'll take it to heart and you do the necessary steps and action to connect yourself to someone who is knowledgeable. And God willing, we'll be able to go one step closer to the final redemption and make the world a better place together. Have an awesome day.